Hi there, it's me. I'm about to show you some footage I filmed about a week ago. Some of this relates to things I've talked about in a previous video. So if this is your first time watching me, feel free to check out any of my previous videos where I talk about what it was like moving to Seattle, living in my car, trying to find a place to live. And I'm going to jump in here and there during this video to give you some commentary where it's necessary. Okay, so today we're taking a walk, and this neighborhood I'm in is Capitol Hill. As you can see, lots of cars parked on the road. I had one heck of a time trying to find parking just because there are so many cars parked on the road here. Okay, so the reason I'm here is because I wanted to find a place that I used to come. When I talked about in 2016, I used to stay in some Airbnbs that were around here. Back then, it was only about $19 a night to stay in one of these Airbnbs. And this neighborhood is very quiet, very safe. So obviously finding a place to stay for $19 a night was a good deal. All right, now let's talk about these Airbnbs that I used to stay in that were only $19 per night. Now, this was back in 2016. So the $19 per night, they were on the street that I'm filming on, that I'm walking on here. And the one room that I stayed in, it was like a basement level room where you couldn't even get phone signal. There were washer dryers out in the hallway that were shared with other people. But this was like one room that just had like a bed, no TV or anything, and then the toilet and the shower were all in the same room. The bed and the toilet and the shower, like there was just like a drain on the floor for the shower to spray into in the same room as where you sleep in the bed. Okay, so that was interesting. And then of course there was like a big kitchen area where I don't know if the whole building was all rented out to Airbnb travelers and whatnot, but the whole kitchen area, if someone would be in there in the morning and they would make breakfast for everybody. So that was interesting. And I definitely enjoyed that. I enjoyed it because it was cheap. It was a nice place to stay, safe neighborhood. But then of course the parking situation is still a problem because it's sometimes difficult to find parking in Seattle. Now, you may have noticed I paused a little bit earlier on the video to show you that there was a car that had one of those 3-day parking permits. That's something I talked about in a previous video. It's a 3-day parking permit that you can get through the city of Seattle. There are some neighborhoods in Seattle that require a parking permit on your vehicle. If you do not have the parking permit on your vehicle, then you are usually limited to a 2-hour time limit for parking. So if you are going to be in the area temporarily, you may be able to apply for one of these 3-day parking permits. It's only good for 3 days. You apply through it for the city. I'm not sure what the requirements are, so you might want to look into that. Okay, this uphill. This is very, very uphill. This is gonna wipe me out for the day. Oh man. Actually, once I get to the top here, I will show you some micro apartments. Okay, so you'll see here at the top of the hill, there's apartments for $800 a month. Yes, the apartments there, that sign says it's $800 for an apartment. That is true. You can definitely find an apartment for $800 a month. And there's nothing wrong with these apartments. It's in a nice area. Of course, it's not going to provide you any sort of parking. You would still have to find street parking. But these are the kind of apartments where you are going to get a very, very, very small apartment. These are usually micro apartments, maybe the size of a walk-in closet, a little bigger maybe if you're lucky. But usually you do not have any sort of kitchen. You share a kitchen with all the other tenants there. So there's usually like a big kitchen, big laundry room. And I'm going to assume you have your own toilet and shower, bathroom in your unit, but there are some micro apartments out there where you have to actually share bathrooms with other people. But yes, you could actually get an apartment for $800 like the banner says. When I lived in a micro apartment, that would have been in 2020. Mine was, I'm gonna say somewhere around like $600 at the time. So I guess prices have gone up within 5 years. They're now running about $800. The one that's here in the video is not where I lived, but it was a micro apartment that's a lot like the one that you're seeing here in this video. And of course, the next thing that caught my eye that you'll see in the video is, of course, homeless people living in tents. That is something that you see all over the city, even in what you might consider a really nice area of town. There are people that live on the streets. It's unfortunate that's the way it is. And really, the city doesn't do anything about it. They don't make those people move. So if someone decides to just pop a tent, sleep on a sleeping bag on the sidewalk, everyone, I guess, just turns a blind eye to it, and it's acceptable in Seattle.